All right, Trump and his psycho sycophants are trying to take over California, Los Angeles. They're being threatening and provocative, and we covered that in an earlier episode. So we need a little respite from this, and we need to talk about why 77 million people gave power to Donald Trump. Because here's a video where one of Trump's allies, Steve Bannon, explains that Trump offered to do Elon Musk's makeup. Play the clip.
Scott Besson point, you say that the black eye that Elon had in the Oval Office was actually caused by Besson punching him? Is that the information you have?
No. That happened. The Scott Bessent physical altercation happened weeks before. That was one of the controversies about the IRS. But this is one of the reasons I think the president said, hey, I think the China briefing where he tried to get a top secret briefing on the China war plan, given the fact that he's in business with the CCP. And many people think that he might be an agent of influence of the CCP since he's always promoting the Chinese Communist Party's party line. The Besson thing happened a couple weeks after that. But look, the black eye, the president said yesterday, he offered the guy some makeup before they had that final little ceremony, and he turned it down. And the president, brought it up a couple of times. It was odd. I have no idea where it came from. I will tell you, I think it looks like the receiving end of a left hook. I'm not sure his little boy, 3-year-old boy, was able to deliver that.
All right. So here we have, Trump offering Elon Musk makeup. I mean, this is just the fact that these people are taken seriously and have ascended to power and are dismantling the United States of America. And they have so many people propagandized to go along with this. And this is WWE BS. And it's the federal government. It's the United States of America. So many people that stand up so proud for the national anthem don't believe in it. They don't believe in equality, and they don't believe in everybody having equal rights. It's really, really disgusting, the areas and the places that these 77 million Americans are taking us.
Absolutely. And Elon Musk is exhibit A for the depravity of Trump without the charisma. He is depraved. Trump is depraved. They are the perfect couple. And I'm guaranteeing you 100%. I remember Donald Trump saying, I didn't even notice he had a black eye. He lies all the time. And I know that's minor, but it's just constant lies from that man.
All right, put up the next headline. Trump says Elon Musk will face very serious consequences if he funds Democratic candidates. In an interview with NBC News, the president also said he assumes his relationship with the tech billionaire is over following their recent fallout. So this is a part where we all have to have a come to Jesus, if you will. Of course, there's the petty part of me that wants to see Trump go after Musk and wants to see Musk get deported. But the intellectual part of me knows the federal government cannot be used in this manner. You don't blackmail people with laws and their immigration status, period, even if it's your enemies. And so here's just another example of how compromised Donald Trump is, how easily he's willing to throw away the rule of law. He doesn't even live in it. And he knows he's got massive dirt on Elon Musk. He knows that Musk went into all of these agencies, not to find waste, fraud, and abuse, but to shut down investigations into himself, into his companies, so he could further enrich himself. And I think that is just the tip of the iceberg. Great. I think there's a lot more fuckery beyond that. And Elon Musk is starting to zip it up a little bit because he knows that all of these people will follow the cult leader over him. Now, can he start changing the algorithm and tame back the troll farms and boosting the algorithm? Yes. But at the end of the day, Trump is the cult leader.
Absolutely. And the cult, regardless of circumstance, is always going to follow Trump. And I'm with you. I think they have so much dirt on each other. I think it would land both of them in prison until they were under the jail. And taking outside the presidential immunity. I think Trump and Musk, in my opinion, they committed so many election crimes to get Trump in office. They both better shut up because they would both be in jail.
Okay, and then next up, put up the next excerpt. So President Donald Trump was dejected, processing his very public split with the world's richest man. Rattled in the wake of Elon Musk's public attacks and apparent call for his impeachment, Trump worked the phones, debriefing close confidants and casual acquaintances alike. His former ally was, quote, a big-time drug addict, Trump said at one point as he tried to make sense of Musk's behavior, according to a person with knowledge of the call. So here's where I say Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper, if Joe Biden appointed a really bad drug addict, and that came out of his mouth to go into the epicenter of federal agencies and download information and give it to some guy named Big Balls, and the president of the United States knew this man was actively in a spiral of massive, untreated drug addiction, where's the outrage from that? I mean, some people in the legacy media are talking about Joe Biden's aging. It's not even comparable. It's not even in the same ballpark. I mean, this is a man, Donald Trump, who said that he thinks drug dealers should receive the death penalty, which is outrageous. And then he puts this spiraling drug addict. And I can tell you from personal experience that I have drug addiction close to me. You don't want anybody on drugs making any decisions about anything, even about where to park a car. People who are spiraling on drug addiction do only one thing: seek more drugs and then destroy and leave a debris field in their way.
What I find interesting about this very public breakup is you have Musk come on and say, oh, Trump's in the Epstein file. So you knew that you were working in a close confidant with somebody that was in on the pedophile staff. And Trump, you knew that a drug addict was in control of the federal government, and neither one of you gave a shit because you both got what you wanted. I mean, that to me is the perfect picture. He doesn't give a shit if you're a pedophile. He doesn't give a shit if you're a drug addict.
But haven't we said in here a lot? It's like a prerequisite for this administration, like Pete Hegseth, untreated alcoholic, roughs women up, total womanizer, perfect. The guy for the, you can just go down the list. Kristi Noem shot a dog. She's perfect. Let's put her in charge of stuff. It seems like the more depraved they are, the more primed they are to come out and execute the evil intents of this regime. Okay, next up, Musk is throwing shade at Stephen Miller on Twitter. Pop this up. Stephen Miller tweets, "We will take back America." And Elon Musk retweets with comment, "Just like I took your wife." And then he deleted it, okay? And then he's denying that he deleted it and put up the next headline. Elon Musk has been forced to rebuke Grok, his own AI chatbot integrated into X, after it falsely suggested the tech billionaire wrote a post saying he took the wife of Stephen Miller. Musk trashes his own AI over embarrassing post about Miller's wife. And we'll get to the analysis of this hilarious faceplant, but please support our show by supporting our sponsors. It's one of the best things you can do to help us keep doing these posts every day. And I want to tell all of our listeners that I have been using iRestore on my hair. The products are absolutely amazing. I especially like the Revive Plus Max Growth Kit. It's like a full-on hair care squad that works from root to tip. It includes the advanced hair growth formula, thickening shampoo, thickening conditioner, and growth activator serum. Everything that I personally need for healthier, fuller hair.
What I love about my iRestore is my hair is growing while I'm watching TV or doing something, because you can absolutely do it, put it on and go about your normal life.
Listener, give yourself the gift of hair confidence this year. For a limited time only, our listeners are getting a huge discount on the iRestore Professional when you use code IHIP at iRestore.com. Head over to iRestore.com and use code IHIP for our show's exclusive discounts on the iRestore Professional. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Hair loss is so frustrating. You don't have to fight it alone thanks to iRestore. Okay, back to Elon Musk. You know, this is such a classic addict thing while they're in the throes of addiction.
Right.
They create something and then they don't take accountability for it. And then they start blaming the person that exposed it. And in this case, Elon Musk is blaming the AI software that was, I don't think he made it, but that was made at his behest, that was made at his financial funding for, and then added to Twitter. Now he's fighting with Grok because it says, no, you tweeted it and you deleted it and I have the receipts.
Well, here's the deal. Elon Musk is just an absolute disaster from jump. But what I've noticed about Elon Musk, starting with the baby mamas all the way through with Donald Trump, he gets with people, he fights with people on social media. And then we saw last week he unfollowed so many members of the Trump administration, including Stephen Miller. So there's definitely bad blood there because, in fact, Stephen Miller's wife is going to work in the private sector for Elon Musk.
Okay. And then in a hilarious, I mean, this is the funniest thing to me ever. So Elon Musk has padded his Twitter account. I mean, I think he has padded like how many followers he has. And if you don't follow him, his tweets will show up every fifth or sixth one. So you have no choice but to mute him because he has gamed the algorithm so that he is the most boosted and rigged person on the platform that he owns. And so when he tweeted that the reason the Jeffrey Epstein stuff hadn't come out was because Trump was at the heart of them, and that was the deal, and he went nuclear, he made sure, because he's, pre-gamed the algorithm, that everybody on the planet has seen it. So a few days later, he deletes the tweet. And I thought, I'm so glad nobody saw that before you deleted it, Elon. I mean, it's just insane. So pop this up. Elon Musk, Kyle Griffin is reporting, Elon Musk has now deleted his post about Trump and the Epstein files.
That's a shock to no one. Everybody, here's the thing. I get so furious with MAGA running around saying, we want to see the Epstein files. Why haven't you released the Epstein files? If you would have paid the slightest bit of attention, it is in the public record that Donald Trump was on Epstein's flight 7 times. And that is not what I want to know from Elon Musk about the deep, dark secrets of Trump.
But not only that, Jeffrey Epstein recruited girls from Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago, that's right.
So Donald Trump is all over this thing, much deeper than just being on the files. The one woman, Virginia, she worked at Mar-a-Lago, and Mar-a-Lago was a source of recruiting girls to be sexually assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein and other powerful people surrounding him. So there's no question that as soon as Kash Patel, Bongino, and Bondi got in there, they're like, oh shit, like he's way involved in all of this, and his businesses are involved in all of this. MAGA will never know that because it will never see the light of day, and they would rather sit around and talk about Hillary Clinton at Pizzagate. I mean, it's just insane. Okay, next up, Elon Musk did all of this stuff and came into the federal government because he is so concerned about waste, fraud, and abuse in a country where he was not born. And he thinks that he is an expert on finding waste, fraud, and abuse. And put this up. Former DOJ engineer says federal waste and fraud were relatively non-existent, and this is reporting from NPR. It's a little wonder why the current administration wants to defund NPR. They tell the truth. So these DOJ people go in and they've drank the Kool-Aid and they think, oh my God, we're going to save $1 trillion. And this is the fundamental problem that so many Republicans just don't understand. You cannot run government like a business, and it's not run like a business. This engineer, who probably was a Elon Musk, Donald Trump, triple Trumper thumper, I mean, he goes in there, and at least it's a little glimmer that at least one person comes out of this and goes, there wasn't hardly anything.
Right.
This is all smoke and mirrors. But that's the whole thing about MAGA. The whole thing is smoke and mirrors. It is a place for people to go park their grievances because Donald Trump gives them a permission structure to where they can release their racism without guilt, without it being painful for them. They don't have to critically think anymore. They can just get a piece of propaganda here, and then they like that, and then another piece of contradictory propaganda over here, and then they like that, and they live in la la land, and they are destroying our country, our allies, and this is just utter insanity. We live in the most fucked up of times.
I agree. And one thing I will say, I wonder if Elon Musk ever really thought he could root out waste, fraud, and abuse, or if that was just the propaganda to get him in there to get these investigations and these massive fines against him released. I mean, who would know, because it probably changes from ketamine snort to ketamine snort.
Yeah.
But I really wonder if it was ever about waste, fraud, and abuse.
Well, I think that he went in there to shut down all of these investigations into himself and to enrich himself under the guise of waste, fraud, and abuse. And if you've been propagandized in the right-wing media ecosystem, you have been told over and over and over about the Democrats and this waste, fraud, and abuse over and over for decades since Reagan. And the biggest contributor to our national deficit are tax cuts from George W. Bush and Donald Trump, period. Nothing else even comes close to that. And so this is all a ruse to help white racists. And now they've grown it. I mean, you have the Latinos for Trump who are finding out, but to feel better about the country being in shambles and them not having to take personal responsibility for it. The situation is it's a social contract. When you live in a country, you pay taxes. A lot of countries, like if you get to the European Union, they take pride in the fact that they have health care. It makes them feel good to live in a place where everybody receives health care as a basic fundamental right. They feel good when women get up to a year in maternity leave and that they actually value family, and they will brag about it in Scandinavian countries. Here, the people who care the most about family and the most about, they say, about helping the needy, they are the ones who are the most critical of the sick and the poor. And it is just such a deep moral flaw that I just don't think we can call out enough in our personal lives and on this podcast. America has a deeply selfish, corrosive, evil moral flaw under the guise of being religious and all in Judeo-Christian values. And it's total bullshit. All right, we'll see you all later.